Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kita bersama hari ini di alam maya untuk forum yang bertajuk Kelestarian Alam Sekitar.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okey, terima kasih kepada semua yang bersama kita hari ini dan saya ingin memperkenalkan 3 panel kita pada hari ini. Kita punya 3 panel, seorang darinya adalah Encik Muhammad Alif yang sudah bersama kita. And then kita juga mempunyai Encik Johan, tapi Encik Johan sedang mencuba untuk join secara maya, dan kita juga mempunyai Puan Asmahani. Okey, sedikit perkenalan mengenai Encik Muhammad Alif. Encik Muhammad Alif bin Muhammad Sofi merupakan penolong pengarah Pegawai Kawalan Alam Sekitar daripada Jabatan Alam Sekitar Negeri Kedah. Beliau mempunyai ijazah sarjana muda dengan kemudian kejuruteraan awam dan sekitar. Kejuruteraan awam dan sekitaran daripada Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. Panel yang kedua merupakan Johan Yusof Abdullah. Beliau mempunyai 32 tahun pengalaman dalam bidang hotel industri dan beliau merupakan Human Resource Director di The Datai Langkawi. Sebelum The Datai, beliau telah bekerja di Sheraton Langkawi Beach Resort, 4 Points by Sheraton, Pelangi Beach Resort Langkawi dan juga PJ Hilton. Jadi menunjukkan beliau memang sangat berpengalaman. Dan disebabkan minat dan beliau punya kesungguhan, beliau telah dilantik sebagai The Datai Pledge Pillar Leader, in which beliau fokus kepada youth for the future. Dan kelulusan Encik Johan adalah Master in Business Administration daripada University of Derby, United Kingdom. Dan panel yang ketiga ialah Dr. Asmahani Ramli. Beliau mempunyai 13 tahun pengalaman dalam Tourism and Event Management. Sebelum join UUM, beliau merupakan pensyarah di Sunway University. Dan sebagai seorang fellow researcher yang aktif, beliau merupakan fellow researcher untuk EMRU, Event Management Research Unit. Sebagai seorang fellow researcher yang aktif, beliau mempunyai research grant dan juga publication dalam alam sekitar, dalam bidang alam sekitar. Dan kelulusan beliau ialah PhD in Tourism and Hospitality Management daripada UUM. Jadi tanpa membuang masa, saya menjemput Encik Muhammad Alif untuk meneruskan pembentangannya mengenai alam sekitar. Terima kasih Encik Alif. Silakan Encik Alif.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Boleh dengar tak suara saya?
Ya, jelas.
Okey, Alhamdulillah. Okey, baik. Terima kasih Dr. Profesor Madya Dr. Razila binti Ahmad atas pengenalan serba ringkas tentang diri saya. Okey, baik. Sebelum tu saya nak ucapkan terima kasih kepada Encik Muhammad Rusli Skadar bin Muhammad, iaitu Ketua Penolong Pengarah di Jabatan Alam Sekitar Negeri Kedah, kerana turut serta bersama kita pada hari ini. Dia juga join dalam Webex ni lah. Okey, nanti okey, jadi saya akan teruskan pembentangan saya pada petang ini. Okey, saya akan mulakan untuk berkongsi skrin lah. Okey, baik. Jadi tajuk forum kita pada hari ini ialah Forum Kelestarian Alam Sekitar. Okey, terima kasih kepada Pusat Pengajian Pengurusan Pelancongan dan Hospitality dan Acara bagi Universiti Utara Malaysia kerana menjemput saya untuk menjadi panel bagi forum pada hari ini. Okey, baik, kita teruskan dengan forum kita pada petang ini. Okey, ini adalah
Encik Alif. Sorry Encik Alif. Encik Alif? Okey. Tapi suara Encik Alif tak ada lah pula.
Hello?
Okey.
Alright.
Okey.
Jadi saya teruskan pembentangan saya pada petang ini. Okey, baik. Ini merupakan topik-topik utama yang akan saya kupaslah pada petang ini dalam forum Kelestarian Alam Sekitar. Okey, baik. Topik pertama ialah definisi lestari itu sendiri. Dan kemudiannya tanggungjawab Jabatan Alam Sekitar. Seterusnya cabaran melestarikan alam sekitar. Dan seterusnya satu topik bonus lah yang boleh saya katakan, iaitu buangan elektrikal dan elektronik, BEE ataupun e-waste. Okey, baik. Maksud lestari. Apakah maksud lestari? Okey, jika kita merujuk pada Kamus Dewan, edisi keempat, Dewan Bahasa dan Pustaka Malaysia, okey, lestari membawa maksud ialah tidak berubah-ubah, kekal dan tetap. Okey, jadi bagi frasa melestarikan, iaitu maksudnya mengekalkan ataupun menetapkan. Okey, jadi bagi tajuk kita pada hari ini ialah kelestarian alam sekitar. Okey, definisinya mengekalkan alam sekitar lah, maksudnya mengekalkan apa-apa sahaja yang berkaitan alam sekitar mengikut bentuk asalnya supaya tidak berubah-ubah. Okey, seterusnya bagi tanggungjawab Jabatan Alam Sekitar di Malaysia. Okey, yang pertama berfungsi sebagai penyebar maklumat, kemahiran dan idea untuk pengembangan minda rakyat kepada penghayatan persekitaran yang berterusan. Okey, baik. Jabatan Alam Sekitar, kita akan membuat inilah penyebaran maklumat berkaitan alam sekitar dan isu-isu semasa berkaitan alam sekitar. Okey, dan seterusnya memastikan pembangunan lestari dalam proses pembangunan negara dan alam sentiasa bersih, sihat dan selamat untuk rakyat. Okey, baik. Pembangunan lestari yang seperti kita selalu dengar lah. Okey, apa yang dimaksudkan dengan pembangunan lestari ini? Maksudnya pembangunan yang seiring dengan kelestarian alam sekitar. Okey, maksudnya kita, negara kita pesat membangun dalam pada masa yang sama, alam sekitar juga dapat dijaga. Okey, baik. Waktu sekarang ada masalah tak?
Tak ada masalah, semua jelas.
Okey, baik. Terima kasih. Okey, seterusnya saya kupas sedikit sebanyak tentang kempen-kempen yang dianjurkan oleh Jabatan Alam Sekitar dalam usaha untuk melestarikan alam sekitar. Okey, yang pertama ialah kempen hindari plastik sekali guna. Okey, plastik sekali guna dapat dikurangkan melalui penggantian penggunaan beg plastik yang boleh digunakan berulang kali. Contohnya beg kertas ataupun beg yang boleh, beg kain ke apa-apa yang boleh menggantikan beg plastik. Okey, kita ingin mengurangkan penggunaan beg plastik ini disebabkan okey, seperti mana yang kita tahulah, plastik ini mengambil masa ribuan tahun untuk diurai. Jadi kita ingin mengurangkanlah penggunaan plastik dan juga penghasilan buangan yang berasaskan plastik ini dengan mengamalkan inilah beg-beg yang boleh digunakan berulang kali ataupun beg-beg kertas, beg kain, macam itulah. Okey, baik. Jadi seterusnya ialah Sekolah Lestari Anugerah Alam Sekitar ataupun singkatannya SLAS. Okey, bagi kempen ini okey, melibatkan dalam kalangan pelajar sekolah dan guru lah berkaitan institusi pendidikan di peringkat rendah dan juga menengah. Okey, tujuannya untuk kita memberi pendarahan awal kepada masyarakat lah. Okey, dalam konteks ni masyarakat pelajar sekolah dan selain itu guru-guru juga boleh mengambil bahagian lah untuk menyertai Sekolah Lestari ni. Kerjasama antara pelajar dan juga guru untuk menyertai pertandingan kempen Sekolah Lestari Anugerah Alam Sekitar ataupun SLAS. Okey, dan seterusnya program pengumpulan buangan elektrikal dan elektronik ataupun e-waste. Okey, memupuk kesedaran dalam kalangan masyarakat untuk mengasingkan BEE daripada sampah domestik yang lain. Okey, BEE ni nanti saya akan ulas lebih lanjut dalam topik yang seterusnya. Okey, seterusnya kempen Rakan Alam Sekitar ataupun RAS. Okey, penyertaan daripada masyarakat awam sendiri sebagai mata dan telinga kepada Jabatan Alam Sekitar untuk membantras kegiatan yang merosakkan alam sekitar. Okey, Rakan Alam Sekitar ni satu usaha JAS untuk dengan masyarakat awam untuk berganding bahu lah untuk mengurangkan ataupun kalau boleh membantras kegiatan-kegiatan yang berpotensi untuk menyebabkan pencemaran kepada alam sekitar. Okey, seterusnya Hari Alam Sekitar Negara ataupun kita singkatannya HASN, HASN. Okey, menyediakan platform pada masyarakat untuk bersama-sama dalam menghayati nilai kelestarian alam sekitar. Okey, selain itu terdapat juga sambutan-sambutan lain yang berkaitan alam sekitar, iaitu Hari Bumi, Hari Air Sedunia, Hari Ozon dan ada banyak lagi lah, nanti saya senaraikan lagi. Okey, dan seterusnya program kesedaran alam sekitar. Okey, program kesedaran alam sekitar ni termasuklah ceramah, pameran, seminar ataupun taklimat dan juga gotong royong yang memfokuskan aspek kesedaran dan kelestarian alam sekitar. Okey, setakat ni jelas ya?
Ya, jelas.
Okey, baik, terima kasih.
Terima kasih, Cik Alif.
Okey, jadi kita ke topik seterusnya iaitu cabaran dalam melestarikan alam sekitar. Okey, seperti mana yang saya nyatakan di sini. Okey, saya ambil yang main lah, yang utama, iaitu 3 yang utama, iaitu kurang kesedaran dalam alam sekitar dalam diri bagi masyarakat ataupun orang awam itu sendiri. Okey, apa yang saya masukkan kesedaran alam sekitar ini? Maksudnya dia tak mempunyai ataupun dia tak prihatin dengan alam sekitar yang di sekelilingnya. Okey, maksudnya dia tidak mengetahui definisi apa itu, macam contohnya saya ambil buangan elektrikal dan elektronik ataupun e-waste. Okey, dia tidak menghayati lah apa itu maksud-maksud ataupun klasifikasi-klasifikasi terutamanya dalam buangan-buangan seperti e-waste, seperti sampah domestik. Okey, dia mungkin tahu tapi dia kurang kesedaran berkaitan perkara tersebut dalam dirinya sendiri. Okey, dan seterusnya wujudnya penjenayah alam sekitar. Okey, penjenayah alam sekitar ni yang berpotensi mendatangkan pencemaran yang skala besar terutamanya di Malaysia yang difokuskan. Okey, dan seterusnya ialah mentaliti masyarakat, iaitu tabiat tak apa, bumi binasa. Okey, dia mentaliti masyarakat ni satu perkara yang kita cuba ubah lah. Kita cuba ubah daripada perikat akar umbi untuk memastikan. Okey, apa yang saya masukkan dekat sini ialah tabiat tak apa tu maksudnya. Okey, contoh saya bagi satu situasi. Okey, untuk barang-barang yang boleh dikita semula. Okey, contohnya kita buang ke dalam tong sampah domestik yang bercampur dengan sisa-sisa lain. Okey, apabila ditegur, contohnya saya ditegur, okey, cik tak bolehlah buang sampah plastik itu ke dalam tong sampah biasa, plastik itu boleh dikita semula. Okey, tapi dia cakap, okey, tak apalah. Itulah yang maksudnya, yang membinasakan bumi disebabkan oleh tabiat-tabiat yang kurang endah ataupun kurang prihatin dengan isu-isu yang melibatkan pencemaran alam sekitar. Okey, seterusnya, okey, ataupun langkah-langkah bagi kita memupuk kesedaran ataupun mengamalkan untuk kepada kelestarian alam sekitar, iaitu amalkan konsep 3R sebagai asas utama. Okey, 3R ni saya rasa semua sudah maklum, iaitu reuse, reduce dan recycle. Okey, bagi konsep reuse, mengguna semula buangan domestik yang boleh digunakan semula lah. Contohnya seperti botol plastik yang boleh digunakan semula sebagai pasu bunga contohnya. Okey, dan seterusnya reduce, mengurangkan penghasilan buangan dan penjimatan tenaga. Okey, kita kurangkan pembuangan yang dihasilkan sama ada di rumah ataupun di pejabat ataupun di mana-mana sajalah yang berkaitan, dan juga mengamalkan konsep penjimatan tenaga. Okey, contohnya saya ambil penjimatan tenaga ni macam common yang selalu kita guna ialah penggunaan lampu LED lah, yang boleh menggantikan lampu-lampu yang biasa digunakan untuk penjimatan tenaga. Okey, dan seterusnya ialah recycle, iaitu mengasingkan dan mengitar semula buangan plastik, kertas dan aluminium. Okey, yang ini saya terangkan dalam slide yang seterusnya, iaitu recycle. Okey, baik, seperti mana sedia maklum, konsep recycle ataupun kita semula ni telah lama lah yang diamalkan di Malaysia. Okey, dan saya rasa semua sudah maklum dah dengan 3 kod warna yang terpapar di skrin. Okey, iaitu warna biru untuk kertas, coklat untuk kaca dan jingga untuk tin aluminium, tin keluli dan plastik. Okey. Baik, untuk recycle ni saya rasa semua sedia maklum dan saya hanya menyentuh di secara kasar sajalah. Okey, dia punya penjelasan, okey boleh tengok dekat slide yang saya paparkan. Okey, cuma saya nak fokus dekat sini. Okey, kita tengok bagi kod warna biru dulu, iaitu kegunaan kertas. Okey, tidak termasuk kertas tisu, kertas karbon, kertas minyak ataupun aluminium, kertas berlapis plastik dan kertas yang kotor. Okey, maksudnya kat sini, okey kita tengok kertas tisu, kertas karbon, kertas minyak dan ataupun aluminium. Okey, maksudnya selain daripada kertas-kertas yang dinyatakan, okey kita boleh untuk hitar semula di tong sampah warna biru. Okey, seterusnya tong sampah coklat. Okey, kegunaan kaca. Okey, tidak termasuk kristal, cermin tingkap, skrin kenderaan, porselin, seramik, logam, peralatan makmal dan balang ataupun botol bahan toksik. Okey, dan seterusnya warna jingga, tidak termasuk bekas cat, bekas bahan toksik, peralatan makmal dan bekas styrofoam. Okey, untuk makluman, apa yang di tengah sini ialah bekas cat. Okey, bagi bekas tak kiralah sama ada plastik ataupun aluminium ataupun keluli yang tercemar dengan cat. Okey, dia dianggap sebagai salah satu buangan terjadual di bawah jadual pertama peraturan kualiti alam sekeliling buangan terjadual 2005 Akta Kualiti Alam Sekeliling 1974, iaitu akta yang diguna pakailah oleh setiap pegawai di Jabatan Alam Sekitar Malaysia. Okey, seterusnya, okey, topik yang hebat diperkatakanlah sekarang dalam kalangan Jabatan Alam Sekitar dan kita cuba untuk sampaikan kepada masyarakat awam, iaitu e-waste ataupun buangan elektrikal dan elektronik, BEE. Okey, saya huraikan sedikit sebanyak berkaitan e-waste ataupun BEE di sini. Okey, barangan elektrikal dan elektronik yang sudah rosak dan tidak digunakan lagi bertujuan untuk dibuang. Okey, itulah kita klasifikasikannya sebagai BEE ataupun e-waste. Okey, merupakan salah satu buangan terjadual di bawah kod SW110, jadual pertama, Peraturan Kualiti Alam Sekeliling Buangan Terjadual 2005, Akta Kualiti Alam Sekeliling 1974. Okey, untuk pengetahuanlah, BEE ini juga merupakan salah satu buangan terjadual yang termaktublah dalam akta. Okey, saya terangkan apa itu SW110, iaitu kod bagi buangan elektrikal dan elektronik di bawah Peraturan Kualiti Alam Sekeliling Buangan Terjadual 2005. Okey, deskripsinya ialah buangan daripada pemasangan elektrikal dan elektronik yang mengandungi komponen seperti akumulator, suis raksa, kaca daripada tube sinar katot dan kaca teraktif atau kapasitor biphenyl terpoliklorin yang lain atau yang dicemari dengan kadmium, raksa, plumbum, nikel, kromium, kuprum, lithium, perak, mangan atau biphenyl terpoliklorin. Okey, itu definisi bagi buangan elektrikal dan elektronik, iaitu e-waste. Okey, kenapa e-waste ini sangat dipentingkan? Okey, sebelum tu saya terangkan dululah kategori-kategori e-waste, kategori-kategori utama bagi e-waste yang Jabatan Alam Sekitar giat melaksanakan promosi dan juga hebahan untuk pengumpulan BEE. Okey, bagi kategori pertama ialah mobile phone ataupun telefon pintar, sama ada dalam bentuk telefon pintar ataupun tablet, dimasukkan di bawah satu kategori, iaitu kategori mobile phone. Okey, seterusnya komputer, sama ada laptop ataupun komputer personal komputer, PC. Okey, dan seterusnya ialah television. Okey, television ni semua jenis television termasuklah television plasma, TV plasma, LCD, LED ataupun jenis television yang sudah lama, iaitu yang jenis gemuk tu orang kata tu. Yang jenis gemuk tu. television CRT television. Okey, dan seterusnya air conditioner ataupun pendingin hawa. Okey, semua jenis pendingin hawa termasuklah yang jenis window unit, split or ceiling unit ataupun mobile unit. Okey, window unit yang seperti dipasang di rumah-rumah, iaitu yang ada di bahagian luar dan ada di bahagian dalam. Split or ceiling unit ni yang selalunya dipasang di bangunan-bangunan lah. Okey, dan seterusnya mobile unit sama ada yang boleh yang mudah alih lah, yang boleh dibawa ke mana saja. Okey, dan seterusnya ialah washing ataupun drying machine, iaitu mesin basuh ataupun mesin pengering. Semua jenis lah, tak kira sama ada kecil ataupun besar, dimasukkan di bawah kategori BEE. Dan juga yang terakhir, yang utama ialah refrigerator ataupun peti sejuk. Sama ada dia freezers, chillers ataupun refrigerator yang berada di rumah. Okey, itu 6 kategori utama bagi BEE ataupun e-waste. Okey, dan seterusnya, kita tengoklah sedikit statistik daripada Jabatan Alam Sekitar berkaitan jumlah e-waste yang dihasilkan di Malaysia. Okey, kita dapat tengok iaitu projection bagi e-waste di Malaysia pada tahun 1981 hingga 2020. Itu selama 40 tahun di Malaysia. Okey, ini ialah projection sepanjang 40 tahun di Malaysia. Okey, dalam kiraan unit iaitu 100,000 unit. Okey, kita dapat tengok di sini dia punya legend iaitu television, refrigerator, mobile phone, PC, air conditioner, mobile phone juga dan juga washing machine. Okey, kita dapat tengok pada tahun 2020 yang paling banyak dihasilkan, e-waste yang paling banyak dihasilkan adalah dari kategori daripada kategori mobile phone. Okey, seperti mana sedia maklumlah, kita kan Malaysia menuju ke era ataupun era pendigitalan ataupun orang panggil Industrial Revolution 4.0, IR 4.0. Okey, so penggunaan mobile phone meningkat dan juga penghasilan e-waste dalam kategori mobile phone juga meningkat. Okey, baik. Itu bagi bilangan unit di Malaysia yang sepanjang 40 tahun. Okey, seterusnya ialah jumlah e-waste yang dihasilkan di Malaysia dalam unit metrik tan ataupun berat lah, berat e-waste yang dihasilkan di Malaysia juga pada tahun yang sama iaitu 1981 hingga tahun 2020. Okey, jadi kita tengok kat sini daripada projection ni pada tahun 2020 kategori yang paling banyak dihasilkan ialah personal computer dalam unit metrik tan lah, personal computer yang paling tinggi dalam tahun 2020. Okey, hal ini adalah disebabkan banyak penggunaan PC ataupun banyak penggunaan daripada sama ada persendirian ataupun daripada pejabat. Okey, sebab itulah banyak dihasilkan e-waste daripada kategori personal computer, PC. Okey, baik. Kenapa ditekankan sangat berkaitan buangan elektrikal dan elektronik, urusannya yang mengikut prosedur dan juga untuk mengelakkan ni lah daripada mencemarkan alam sekitar lah. Okey, kat sini saya ada bagi dua kategori iaitu ke atas alam sekitar dan juga ke atas manusia itu sendiri, iaitu ke atas kesihatan manusia. Okey, kita boleh tengok pada poster yang pertama. Okey, tiga kesan e-waste kepada persekitaran. Okey, iaitu di bawah kategori tanah, soil ataupun water, air dan juga air, bagi udara lah. Okey, bagi soil, disposal of e-waste to the landfill may affect the soil quality. Okay, heavy metals such as mercury, lead and cadmium contained e-waste may permeate into soil, thus causing contamination that leads to soil infertility and disruption to plants growth. Okay, ke atas tanah, dia boleh menyebabkan ketidaksuburan tanah dan juga menyebabkan tumbuhan-tumbuhan yang berada di sekitar pencemaran tersebut akan mati lah. Okey, dan seterusnya kepada air, improper disposal of e-waste may cause toxins infiltration to the river, lakes, ponds and groundwater. Consequently, led to acidification and toxification of the water. Okey, jadi seperti mana kita sedia maklum, air ni merupakan boleh katakan satu elemen utama lah dalam kehidupan kita seharian. Okey, setiap hari kita mesti akan gunakan air, sama ada untuk minum, untuk mandi, untuk mencuci dan seterusnya. Okey, jadi sekiranya air ini dicemari dengan SW110, okey, yang dinyatakan di situ ialah toxins yang boleh menyebabkan air itu menjadi acidic ataupun toxic. Okey, dan seterusnya ke atas udara ataupun air, burning of e-waste such as refrigerators and air conditioners can release chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, and other gases that pollute the air quality, hence resulting to depletion of ozone layer and global warming. Okey, udara ni juga berkaitan pencemaran udara disebabkan oleh SW110. Okey, seperti pembakaran e-waste. Okey, ada sesetengah masyarakat lah dia suka, okey, terutamanya berkaitan di kampung-kampung. Kalau di Kedah ni dia suka membakar sampah ataupun membakar sisa-sisa daripada rumahnya berdekatan dengan rumahnya sendiri. Okey, jadi apa yang kita takut, apa yang kita cuba elakkan ialah e-waste ini turut dibakar oleh masyarakat, oleh orang awam tersebut dan menyebabkan inilah, kalau dia membakar seperti refrigerator iaitu peti sejuk dan juga pendingin hawa yang boleh membebaskan gas CFC. Okey, seperti mana kita tahu, gas CFC ini akan bertindak balas dengan ozon dan akan menipiskan ozon lah. Okey, ozon ni bertindak sebagai satu filter ataupun penapis sinaran UV yang sangat berbahaya kepada manusia dan juga persekitaran. Okey, baik. Seterusnya kita bergerak kepada kesan kepada manusia pula. Okey, boleh tengok di poster sebelah tu. Okey, potential health impacts to electronic waste. Okey, ini adalah contoh-contoh buangan schedule waste ataupun bahan-bahan yang boleh menyebabkan kesihatan manusia terjejas. Okey, iaitu lead, mercury, beryllium, cadmium, plastics including PVC. Okey, ada pemasangan-pemasangan e-waste yang mengandungi plastik. Okey, seperti contohnya macam televisyen. Okey, dia ada juga yang contohnya cover televisyen tu dia menggunakan plastik untuk inilah pemasangan lah, melengkapkan pemasangan dia lah. Okey, dan seterusnya barium dan juga chromium. Okey, apa yang kesannya kepada manusia? Okey, sangat banyak lah. Okey, kat situ dia ada brain development, nerve system, kidney, liver, neural damage, carcinogenic lung cancer, okey, dan juga reproductive system dan juga terhadap lung lah, asma dan bronchitis. Okey, berkaitan pernafasan kita, respiratory system. Okey, ini berkait rapatlah dengan pencemaran udara yang disebabkan oleh SW110 ataupun daripada e-waste. Okay, seterusnya, okay, saya ambil satu contoh terdekat yang setiap hari boleh kita guna benda ni, iaitu smartphone. Okay, saya jamin lah setiap orang di Malaysia ataupun setiap orang yang bekerja ataupun sama ada student ataupun bekerja di Malaysia, sekurang-kurangnya mesti ada satu smartphone ataupun telefon pintar. Okay, sekurang-kurangnya, kalau ada lebih tu bonus bagi dia lah. Okey, contoh terdekat, dengan menyita semula 1 juta telefon pintar, boleh memperoleh semula, okey, apa yang terdapat dalam telefon pintar kita. Mari kita tengok. Okey, 9 kg palladium, 9,000 kg bersama dengan 9 tan copper ataupun kuprum, 22 kg gold ataupun emas dan juga 250 kg silver ataupun perak. Okey, kita tahu barangan-barangan ini sangat berharga lah, sangat mempunyai harga pasaran yang boleh dijual semula. Okey, jadi ia juga merupakan unsur-unsur daripada bumi yang mengambil masa ribuan malah jutaan tahun untuk terhasilkan. Jadi sekiranya lah satu satu smartphone atau 1 juta smartphone sama ada dilupuskan, tidak mengikut prosedur yang sebetulnya ataupun dibakar. Jadi kita akan kerugian inilah unsur-unsur yang sangat berharga inilah yang terdapat dalam smartphone. Okey, itu adalah contoh terdekat lah yang boleh saya berikan tentang e-waste. Okey, dan seterusnya, okey, inilah salah satu kempen ataupun program yang telah dijalankan kerjasama daripada UUM juga, iaitu Pusat Pengajian Undang-Undang dan Jabatan Pembangunan dan Penyelenggaraan Universiti Utara Malaysia UUM. Okey, pada tahun lepas, iaitu kempen pengumpulan BEE sempena Hari Alam Sekitar Negara peringkat negeri Kedah tahun 2020. Okey, dapat tengoklah kat situ. Ini daripada satu fakulti je lah, satu fakulti Pusat Pengajian Undang-Undang. Okey, okey, boleh tengok di slide berapa banyak e-waste yang berjaya dikumpulkan. Okey, itulah inilah kita melancarkan pengumpulan e-waste, Jabatan Alam Sekitar melancarkan pengumpulan e-waste untuk memupuk kesedaran lah untuk asingkan barangan buangan elektronik ini daripada buangan domestik ataupun buangan harian kita masing-masing. Okey, seterusnya, okey, Jabatan Alam Sekitar juga ada melancarkan ataupun membangunkan satu aplikasi yang boleh dimuat turun di App Store ataupun di Play Store. Okey, ataupun boleh scan, boleh imbas QR code yang ada di slide untuk mengetahui, untuk ambil tahu tentang e-waste dan juga pusat-pusat pengumpulan yang berdaftar dan dilesenkan oleh Jabatan Alam Sekitar yang berdekatan dengan kita lah. Okey, apps ni dibangunkan oleh Jabatan Alam Sekitar Malaysia. Okey, untuk kegunaan seluruh masyarakat Malaysia lah. Okey, kalau ada yang berminat boleh imbas QR code di skrin ataupun buka ke Play Store ataupun Google Store untuk download My E-Waste daripada store tu sendirilah. Okey, baik. Seterusnya, okey, ini saya terangkanlah orang bagi kitaran hidup ataupun cycle kehidupan e-waste tu lah, yang kata lifespan of e-waste. Okey, daripada stage pertama iaitu daripada manufacturer and importer, daripada kilang sendiri dihasilkan. Pada masa ini belum disebut sebagai buangan lah, maksudnya kita sebut sebagai barangan elektrikal elektronik, dan kemudian ini dibawa oleh importer ke retailer of electric and electrical appliance, maksudnya kedai-kedai yang menjual peralatan elektrik. Okey, dan seterusnya stage yang ketiga ialah user, iaitu masyarakat awam lah, kita sendiri yang menggunakan peralatan elektrik dalam kehidupan seharian, sehingga barangan elektrik dan elektronik tersebut rosak dan tidak boleh digunakan lagi. Ia akan menjadi buangan elektrikal dan elektronik, iaitu BEE. Okey, dia akan datang ke stage keempat, iaitu e-waste. E-waste tadi tu BEE itulah. Okey, e-waste ini dikumpulkan dan seterusnya dihantar ke License Collection Center. Maksudnya pusat pengumpulan yang berdaftar dan juga dilesenkan oleh Jabatan Alam Sekitar Negeri Kedah, Jabatan Alam Sekitar Malaysia, bukan negeri Kedah sajalah, satu Malaysia lah. Okey, dan seterusnya daripada pusat pengumpulan tersebut akan dibawa ataupun diangkut ke recovery facility yang berlesen, iaitu fasiliti yang untuk pemerolehan kembali. Okey, yang macam saya terangkan tadi lah, yang barang-barang tadi tu, yang barang-barang berharga tadi tu sama ada boleh kita semula ataupun tidak. Okey, akan dihantar ke sini untuk dibuat pemerolehan kembali. Okey, dan seterusnya kembali ke stage pertama. Okey, maksudnya cycle di sini ialah cradle to cradle. Okey, selalu kalau kita dengar ialah cradle to grave. Okey, kali ini ialah cradle to cradle. Maksudnya sisa itu akan sentiasa dalam putaran, dalam sekitaran. Maksudnya dia akan sentiasa diberikan, jika tak dapat digunakan lagi, dia akan diberikan macam orang kata kehidupan barulah untuk e-waste itu. Okey, baik. Okey, seterusnya itu saja perkongsian ataupun pembentangan daripada saya pada petang ini. Okay, saya memetiklah satu kata-kata daripada Pendeta Zakbar, iaitu inilah orang panggil apa, dia punya ayat-ayat dia yang berkaitan dengan alam sekitar. Okey, iaitu alam ialah satu perkara yang kita kongsi bersama seluruh manusia. Maka hargailah, peliharalah, peliharalah. Okey, sekian, terima kasih.
Terima kasih Encik Muhammad Alif. Peliharalah, peliharalah. Saya ingatkan peliharalah tu bahasa P. Ramlee. Dia memang ada word peliharalah
Ya, ada ada pelihara dan ada duduk pelihara juga.
Oh, okay. And actually electronic waste punya collection tu saya ingat lagi UEM ada buat hari tu dan memang
Ya,
saya pun
betul.
turut serta dan saya rasa sangat-sangat membantu. Sebab kadang-kadang saya pun
Betul.
tak tahu nak buang dekat mana kita punya waste tu. Okay, selamat datang Encik
Betul.
Johan.
Okey, baik.
Okay, terima kasih membentang Encik Alif tadi. Stay tune ya sebab sekejap lagi kita akan ada sesi soal jawab.
Okey, baik, Doktor.
Okay, terima kasih Encik Alif. Welcome Encik Johan. How are you today?
Alhamdulillah. I'm very sorry. You know, we now say that technology is not only powerful but can be very risky.
Oh yes, sometimes it makes us stress, especially us dinosaurs.
I know. So
Okay.
I'm glad I'm able to use my daughter's phone. I don't know, my phone seems to be following my age, I suppose.
But it's okay, you're here now, and your age indicates that you are very experienced. So we would like to listen from you regarding what the data is doing. You know, the initiative the data is taking to preserve the environment. Okay, you can start now.
Thank you. Right. First of all, terima kasih. Although I have not got the opportunity to hear Encik Muhammad Alif, ya. Encik Muhammad Alif is penolong pengarah pegawai kawalan alam sekitar. I'm so sorry.
Yes, I am.
I cannot join you earlier. I'm sure I have missed a lot of good points and pointers there. And of course, thank you, Dr. Rosila, as a moderator that invited me into this talk. I'm not sure how many participants are out there. I hope people are dialing in and we all can share from each other. My slides are in bahasa Inggeris, so I tried my best to jadi ahli bahasa Doraemon sikit. So bear with me.
And actually, it's okay for you to communicate in English because we also have international students with us.
Okay. Good to hear that. Good to hear that. So shall we begin?
The floor is yours, sir.
Okay. I'm dialing in from home actually. So the topic that we are going to discuss is about sustainability in hospitality sector, industry trends, and of course, best practices that we have at the Datai Langkawi through our very unique initiative called the Datai Pledge. As you know, the pledge means promise, means janji. So this is what we have promised. So therefore, let's look at, hang on, my phone rings. Sri, can I call you back shortly? Sure. Actually, the one that had just dialed in just now is my NGO partner, which we will dive in a little bit later. So, okay, let's look at a little bit of introduction. The agenda for today, we are going to talk a little bit about myself and also where I work, so that you get a little bit perspective of the place that I work. Then we are going to talk about what is the current sustainability trend in hospitality sector, especially in high-end hotel, 5-star, and in my case, it's a luxury property. Then we're going to talk about sustainability initiative that Data had undertaken through the Data Pledge program. Data Pledge program is a special program which entails 4 pillars. We will dive into that later. Then the final slide, I will do a very quick summary about what we have just discussed earlier. About myself, yeah, I'm 53 years old, counting. Hopefully, I can get my retirement soon and focus more on noble things like green initiatives, community services in particular. My name is Johan. I lead the Human Resources Department at the Datai Langkawi. So I'm not like Encik Muhammad Alif, who is an exponent in the area of alam sekitar or sustainability. I'm the leader of Human Resources Department. I work in various hotels. Currently, I'm work in the place called the Datai Langkawi. It's a beautiful place, surrounded by sea, by land, and by very old, 500 million years old forests. I worked in predominantly in Langkawi. I work in Sheraton Langkawi, also a very nice place, 4 Points near the airport, and also worked at Pelangi Beach Resort also in Langkawi. Before that, I was working in the hustle and bustle city of Petaling Jaya. So I thought I had enough of city life and moved into nature and green environment like Langkawi. So that's what I venture myself into, Human Resources Department. Next slide is about where I work. As you know, Datai is situated in Langkawi, an archipelago made of not 99 islands. Sometimes you have 80, sometimes 70, sometimes more than 100. So it all depends on the type, actually. One thing unique about Langkawi is that it is a very special island. As you know, Langkawi still maintains its green luster, but it is diminishing very soon. So it is very important that we appreciate the nature that we have in Langkawi. As you know, Langkawi is also surrounded by rainforests, mangroves, and also we are situated at the very famous Datai Bay. It is regarded by National Geographic, an international body, that the Datai Bay itself is considered as 10 best beach in the world. So we are obligated to make sure we maintain that status. It opens 28 years ago in 1993 and had went through a renovation project in 2018. I would like to say not renovation, but more restoration. So that's the key word that we use. But I printed out here as renovation because people understand renovation. We would like to use the term restoration. We have 121 rooms, including villa. Currently, we are only operating villas because of MCO. Otherwise, we have 121 keys. We have a very nice spa facilities. We focus a lot on wellness. As you see, wellness and sustainability is just adik-beradik, you know. They're just like brother and sister. We focus a lot on nature. That is our competitive edge. Of course, we have food and beverage. We have a very nice restaurant, Malay restaurant called Gulai House. We have a Thai restaurant because proximity to Thailand, I suppose. Thailand is just across. Every day when I go to the lobby, I can see the Thai island. So we are very near. We have international restaurant. Of course, we have a beach. We have a beach club as well. We have a nice retail, high-end retail, and recreational facilities, as well as golf, because golf is also our sister property. So that's Datai. You can see how beautiful it is. Let's look at sustainability trend in hospitality sector. There are a lot that I put in here, but what I would like to generalize is that, especially in 5-star and in luxury segment, our guests are very choosy. The high-end travelers, before they make their decision whether they want to stay in a property or in B property, they would check out, is this hotel responsible enough towards its environment? Now, it is no longer a PR mileage that you get if you do all these sustainable initiatives. It is something that is expected of the hotel that sits as a high-end hotel to have the sustainable initiatives in place. Another trend that we also now see is that those guests that come and stay with us, they would want to see what local product are we offering. Imagine somebody comes from UK or Scandinavian country in Sweden, for example, yeah, would not want to see what is in their country. They want to see what Malaysia has got to offer, what Langkawi has got to offer in particular. That is what they want to see. And not just the product that is not considered green. They want to see, yes, you are offering your local product. Are they green? Recent COVID-19 pandemic has opened up eyes for people to see if the economy shut down, the planet thrives. You know, we have this situation in Johor where the river is polluted. I don't know whether you all remember that. After a few months, the river seems to become alive. That's what greedy factor did to our environment. So people now are seeing green initiatives, hotels. 19, it has opened some eyes to a lot of decent traveler. So that's what the trend is at the moment. And as you know, if you practice green initiative, automatically you will get the recognition. But for Datai, that is not the case. We are not interested in certification by bodies, government bodies. We did it because we felt compelled and responsible to do it, to ensure that the nature is respected, that we show the best what Datai has got to offer. So that, in short, what sustainable trend is all about currently. Let's move on a little bit. Let's touch a little bit about the overview of initiatives, what the Datai has undertaken, what the guest activities and tours are. You know, I can walk through the slides, but it is never be the same compared to if you come over and see what Datai has got to offer. I would like to invite you to see our website later, a little glimpse of what Datai has got to offer, but for the time being, I will just go through the slides. It's not doing justice at all, to be honest. And then we were going to talk about performance and achievement, what we have collected in terms of data, and the last but not least, what we have achieved in terms of certification by various government bodies. Okay, let's look at the first principle that the Datai has undertaken, which is what we say as the 7 R's. First is reduce. As you know, we want to reduce as much waste as possible. We produce a lot of waste, but we want to see how we can live as, I don't know whether you heard this concept called minimalist. Yeah, so that concept of minimalist reflected that before we buy anything, we must really ask ourselves, is that a real need? And we use technology to treat waste as well. I will be sharing with you the initiative that we are going to use called the Ashra. I've not put it in the slide. It's something that we want to buy. It will cost us about $500,000. So we use technology. It is available in Singapore. This is something which we want to buy at the end of the year. It's like a mini incinerator, if you wish. Then we look at recycle, repurpose. These two concepts is giving second chance life to product. This is something which we have, and we have a special place, special area that we recycle and repurpose. We return back goods to supplier. For example, some supplier using, last time they used cardboard, they used plastic. we insist them using something which they can reuse. So these are the initiatives that we work with our supplier. We replace a lot of things which is not environmental friendly. And last but not least, we rethink. Whatever that decision that we do, we rethink. We meet up with department heads and look at all the processes and see how we can contribute towards green sustainability. Right, let's move on to waste management. As you know, we have a dedicated place called Pure Center. Pure Center is an area where we compact all our food waste and turn it into a compost. And also we separated the dry waste, and we see what are the things that we can recycle and repurpose, like I've mentioned earlier. The 7R comes in here at the Pure Center. We upcycle things, we crush glasses. As you know, we have a lot of glasses that we use in the hotel. Kita pecahkannya, kita crush them, and we made it into a building material. So does plastic. We shred plastic, we turn it into a building material itself. Later you will see how we use this building material to build our lab, our recycle and repurpose center. So these are the waste management that we practice. Next is the garden. Remember just now what we did with the compost. We also have a garden called Permaculture Garden. Permaculture Garden is an agriculture ecosystem that is self-sufficient. The key word here is self-sufficient. What do you mean by self-sufficient? You know, normally garden, you have got to pedicure, manicure, you have got to put a lot of attention there. But permaculture concept is like what you see in the forest. How come a durian tree can live in the forest, whereas in a orchard, it has got to be taken care by many manpower? So that's the concept that we want to develop at the Datai. So far, we have done that. We are still tweaking it because we share the same garden with monkeys, with a wild boar and all that. So it's never easy, yeah? And we also purify our water that comes out from our guest room into the wetland. We did test by third party. I think Encik Muhammad Alif would know that we, whatever that we go, whatever that the water comes out from the hotel goes to the nature, has got to be tested, yeah? So we don't just have our STP ataupun sewerage treatment plant, we also have what you see the picture towards the bottom right. We have a pond, we have a creepers plant that can extract all those toxic material before it is released. It was released to the wetland. And we also plant in the permaculture garden herbs, fruits and all that, which we use it in our restaurant as well. So the guests can go in to the restaurant and go through the permaculture garden and see how the permaculture garden works, and they can pluck the fruits and all that from the permaculture garden. We also have stingless bee honey ataupun kelulut, yeah, that's the kelulut bee that we have there. Kita ada beberapa you know, those home for kelulut. We also have worm farms and our own composting. We also have our herbal garden, and recently we worked with Jabatan Perhutanan to plant native trees. We planted about 1,000 native trees around the Datai area. So that itself, we wanted to do something like a corridor project. So very interesting and very ambitious. We also have our bottling plant. Can we move on to the next slide? Yeah. In fact, in Langkawi, we are the first hotel that have our own bottling plant. We never use plastic, single-use plastic. We never encourage any plastic in the hotel. In fact, during staff party, we give a Tupperware, which all the staff are encouraged not to bring or to use any single-use plastic mineral water. It is banned totally. Yeah. So we have an area where we purify water, and soon what we will do is we will try to make our water more alkaline. Alhamdulillah, and inshallah, maybe we try to go as close as what we have in Zamzam. We never go through. We will never get to that, of course, because that is God created gift to us. But we are going to go as close as possible, and as far as the quality of the water is concerned. Yeah. So that's our bottling plant. And if you can see, remember I was mentioning about the bottle. Can we go to the next page? Yeah. The building that you see on the right is the lab. This is where we recycle, we repurpose all those items that we cannot we cannot use anywhere else. So as it is, we are trying our level best to get 100% or zero waste to the landfill. So a lot of things end up here at the lab. So far, you can see that lab is made out of 6,465 recycled bottle, champagne, wine, and beer bottle. You can see that. You nampak tak dekat dinding dia tu? It is all made out of bottle. And we collaborated with local artists. We invited local artists. We hosting them on upcycling workshop. We showcase our product and merchandise. We also do soap making there, fragrance oil. We do mosquito repellent, organic oil, using the herbs that we have at Permaculture candle. We also upcycle the candle that we bought and we outsource it to the local community. So the local community also earns some money through our initiative. Then you can see it has got a lot of spin-off, economic spin-off if you embrace sustainability. Like I've mentioned earlier, we work with our local person who is an expert in kelulut or stingless bee honey production, and we sell them at the Datai Langkawi. So these are what we have at the lab. Right, let's move on. At the Nature Center is what we say as the hub of the Datai, and as far as nature is concerned. It is the heart of the Datai. This is where our naturalist office is. You can see the structure. There's a just beautiful Minangkabau made out of bamboo. During the renovation, this is the additional building that is add-on to the Datai Langkawi. It is open air, like I've mentioned, based on the bamboo longhouse. We discover a lot of flora and fauna around Teluk Datai. We collect them like we see a lot of, when you see dead trees, we can see there's orchid. So behind there, we have a small orchid garden, a collection of orchids behind there. So it's just a beautiful area. At the nature center itself, we also have a tea corner, a fine selection of tea, formula by Dr. Ghani, the late arwah Dr. Ghani. Yeah, so we invited him. We work with a lot of locals. Like I say, that's the trend that is today in as far as the luxury segment of the hotel. We also have a very famous resident naturalist, Mr. Ershad Mubarak. Mr. Ershad had been featured in BBC. As you know, it's not easy for one to be invited by BBC and host a talk. So even a prime minister, also not easy to get a slot with BBC. But Mr. Ershad, our resident naturalist, had been invited by BBC. So he is an iconic figure at the Datai. We also have our marine biologists. We have naturalists. So we put a lot of emphasis and resources on manpower and as far as our initiative is concerned. Okay, let's move on. As you can see, we never use plastic. In our landscape, we use the product that you see on your left. Even the bamboo, we either use the bamboo straw or we use a stainless steel bamboo. Even our toiletries also is made out of bamboo. You can see it, Sekitar. The comb is made out of bamboo. Even the toothbrush is made out of bamboo. Those that use tapau, as typical Malaysian, they like to tapau. It is made out of corn material. You can see that. And on your extreme right is our mineral water canister. So you can see this is some of our product, because the vision is to eliminate single-use plastic and the goal is to generate zero waste to the landfill. We are almost there. Our target is by end of the year, we should be able to get the zero waste to the landfill, inshallah. In terms of tours and activities, we have permaculture walk, we have little garden walk for our little guests that visited Datai. And you can see our marine biologists there entertaining our guests, our little guests, because we have a nice river that flows into the sea. So it's a brackish water there. They would enjoy the little walk. We have the lab as a workshop. We have a nature center, like I've mentioned. We have adapted a coral program, a day out with dolphins. As you know, Datai Bay has seen some dolphins. So if you're lucky, you will get to see the dolphins. Adopt a tree, a native tree, and be a naturalist. These are the programs, some of the little programs that we have. Data is so, it's not in the slides, but I must add, at the data, we are so lucky. You know, the concept of, I've heard, if you have heard, tanah airku, we have tanah because we are surrounded by 500 million years old rainforest. And at the same time, we are also having our unique Datai Bay, like I've mentioned earlier, is top 10 beach in the world. So we are so blessed. Therefore, our program must also aim towards tanah airku concept that we have at the Datai Langkawi. Let's move on a little bit about data, what we have done. If you look at the past 1 year, total waste that is been produced, we have produced almost 700,000 kilo waste that we have produced. And out of 700,000 kilo, we have processed for the past 1 year 534,000 kilo waste, meaning we have recycled, we have repurposed, we have upcycled to 87%. Only the remaining 13% are sent to the landfill. So this is something which is, to me, is a very ambitious target that any hotel can embark into. And Alhamdulillah, so far, since opening or reopening of the data in year 2018, we have achieved 87%. This is something which is phenomenal to a certain extent. I would like to boast, actually. And seeing is believing, actually. You need to come to Datai to see this. And we have also crushed bottle and saved about 101,000 or almost 102,000 bottles that we have crushed and made it into a material that we can use. We have also, in terms of compost to become fertilizer, we have produced 25 tons. Can you imagine? We have saved a lot of money. Instead of buying fertilizer, we have on our own created our own compost. We have tubs filled with worms, bath worm we call it, And those extract, we use it as fertilizer. We have got to dilute it, of course. And we have also not bought from our suppliers 663 kilo of herbs and plants because we have our permaculture garden. We have also crushed plastic, almost 455 kilogram of plastic. We don't throw it away. We recycle it, upcycle it. We have made our own candles, 7,279 candles. And we have made concrete slab made out of plastic and crushed glass to make our building. Actually, the lab is made out of all those material that we recycle. So that's in terms of numbers. In terms of certification, this is something which I feel that we didn't ask for. I remember very well when we did our 5-star certification with MOTAC. MOTAC is Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Art. When we presented for our 5-star certification and we shared what we did in as far as green initiative is concerned, the officer said, Johan, that I would be qualified for green hotel automatically because you have done more than what it takes to certify as green hotel certification. So right after we got our 5-star, after our reopening, we did our green hotel certification and we got it very easily in August 2019. But this is only a recognition in Malaysia. We also had our hotel being nominated and being selected as Asian Green Hotel Standard, which was held in Brunei. And again, we are being renominated next year for an Asian Green Hotel Standard. But what's more important for us, because our clientele, actually 55% comes from European countries or not from Malaysia. Yeah? We are aiming for international recognition, and we have done this Earth Check, and we have got that certified from Earth Check. And Earth Check, believe me, it's the highest level of ecotourism practices globally. And never easy to get this. If you say green hotel is a piece of cake, but Earth Check is something which is very complicated, and the checklist is mind-boggling. So that in terms of certification that Datai had achieved. Then we look into the Datai Pledge. The Datai Pledge is a program which is very, very unique. And we'll dive through a little bit about the Datai Pledge. Datai Pledge is it is a pledge to our guests, our community, our staff, our shareholder about how we look at sustainability. And here's the mission statement. I don't want to read all of it, but I would like to summarize that it's a groundbreaking and very ambitious program. Never stop. And we don't just talk about sustainability now. We are talking about the new buzzword called regeneration. Now, the word sustainable is something that you are going to maintain, right? Now, if you take over a place, what you did was you take over a few meters of what nature was there before. So how do you give back? You will never be able to give back unless you regenerate. So we are now at the stage of sustainable, not even regenerate. So the mission of Datai Pledge is to ensure that we engage with all stakeholders, we engage with NGO, and in accomplishing a lot of initiatives under the green initiative. All right, let's move on to our key objective. Our key objective naturally is to safeguard the natural beauty of the place, to introduce innovative practices, which you have heard some of it earlier. We are targeting a few areas like wildlife, community, and also fish, because we have a beautiful bay. And at the same time, we want to practice all green practices so that you don't contribute to the landfill. So there are 4 pillars which I will discuss a little bit later. Yeah, we are going to pioneer these activities in our luxury hotels and become a leader in Southeast Asia. In fact, to be honest with you, I think in Malaysia, I have not seen any hotel, I have not heard any hotel that has embraced this concept of the Datai Pledge. Yeah. So this is our key objective, and we will engage our local community in our pillar called the Fish for the Future, which I will talk a little bit later. Let's look at the Datai Pledge. I've mentioned there are 4 pillars. Yeah, the first one is Pure for the Future. Pure for the Future is what you have heard earlier. Is an act of responsibly use of material, reuse it, repurpose it. The 7R, which I have just mentioned just now. Fish for the Future is a program to protect the marine life at our Datai Bay. We have our coral, beautiful coral at the Datai Bay. We will look at how we propagate the coral, which somewhat being destroyed by local fishermen previously, by the boat that encroaches into the Datai Bay, irresponsible way of fishing. So how do we protect the bay? Wildlife for the Future is a program to restore, reconnect the island forest. As you know, because of development, the forests are being divided, trees has been felled. So this is how we look at our way of protecting the wildlife at the Datai to begin with, and probably we will share it with other hotels and see how they can also contribute so that Langkawi can be safe. And the last one, the last pillar, which is I'm the pillar leader. Actually, I'm not expert in Pure for the Future. I'm not an expert in the Fish for the Future, nor am I an expert in Wildlife for the Future. Because of my background in human resources, they put me in charge of the Youth for the Future, although I'm not so youthful. So I'm here to ensure that the younger generation get motivated by sustainable practices. We have sponsored 2 schools in Langkawi under Kedah Eco School program, which is a program established by our NGO called Green Growth Asia. Green Growth Asia is an NGO that had started a Malacca Eco School program successfully, and they are now having the success of Malacca Eco School program to be emulated in Kedah. So the Ministry of Education had agreed on Kedah Eco School program, and we at the Datai have sponsored 2 schools. Unfortunately, the school had just begun. Therefore, we have delay in executing this initiative. So I'm in charge of the Youth for the Future, actually. Let's move on to Pure for the Future. I think Pure for the Future, I have explained earlier. It's a program encompasses the 7R principle, which is reduce, recover, recycle, repurpose, replace, return, and most importantly, rethink of any processes that happen at the Datai. And we have engaged an NGO called Sahabat Alam Langkawi, Salam Langkawi. It is a Malaysian non-profit corporation dedicated to environmental conservation in Langkawi. So we work closely with NGO. Next is the Fish for the Future. Our partner here, or NGO, is Maresat. Maresat is also another NGO dedicated to research of marine mammals, especially dolphin. As what we have mentioned just now, you can spot a dolphin, and you can also adopt a dolphin as a guest. Yeah. So we are doing a lot of initiative here. We have dropped in a few FAD, or fish aggregating device, or tukun. Tukun. We have dropped at the Datai Bay, costs us a few 100,000 ringgit. So this is what Fish for the Future entails. And we are going to ensure that our coral thrives at our Datai Bay. So this is Fish for the Future. You can see on your left top is the artificial reef. Nampak kecil, it looks small, but it's a huge thing. Yeah? The idea is that for the fish to thrive there, and we will then, after the fish has grown to a sizable size, then the local fishermen can come over and fish and sell it to the datai. So that's the idea. That's how we say as this program involves local community as well, and it also involves government sector where we engage with the Department of Fishery to guide us on how we do this FAD, or fish aggregating device, the artificial reef. As you can see, community outreach we have done, coral reef rehabilitation, which is ongoing. Right? Let's move on. Wildlife for the future. As you know, we try to protect the wildlife, the monkey, the flora and fauna that we have in Langkawi. With that, we engage a partner called Gaia. Gaia is another social enterprise dedicated at wildlife conservation, especially the hornbills. We have a few species of hornbill at the datai. We have Maranti tree. We also have a few species of tree which is native to Langkawi. The sandalwood, the Malay call it yang buat Arab buat minyak wangi tu. I can't remember what in Malay is it called. It's a sandalwood. So it's very expensive wood. There are a lot of wood in those trees in Datai. So we want to protect all these treasures that we have at the Datai under Wildlife for the Future. And eventually we want to connect, we want to make it as a bridge so that the animal can cross. As you see in biological sense, if the animal do not cross, the gene are not very of high quality. So that's why we say we have got to embark into Wildlife for the Future. So let's move on. So these are some of the initiatives under Wildlife for the Future. We put some signages because, you know, the road user, sometimes they drive like Michael Schumacher. So there's some cautious sign there. And also we try to plant trees so that we do reforestation. We put in some camera to see what type of animals that we have. We do stock take on the animals that we have, and so on and so forth, so that we can do studies and try to protect them. So that's under the pillar of Wildlife for the Future. As I mentioned, Youth for the Future, we work very closely with Green Growth Asia, who had a success program in Malacca. It's a 3-year cycle program where it is not just talk like what you are hearing me, but data is a living lab. Living lab means the school children can come over and see what data has got to offer and implement a project at their school. So they will achieve something, they will learn something, and they will get recognition for it, so that it is a lifelong learning for them. If you want to teach, you got to teach young. Dalam bahasa Melayu, kalau kita nak lentur buluh, biarlah daripada rebung. Ini rebung pun kita makan tu. So kita kena fikir balik lah. Nah? So this is the 4 pillars that we have under the Datai Pledge. One is Pure for the Future, Wildlife for the Future, Fish for the Future, and Youth for the Future. So under the 4 program, which is very unique, I do not think any other hotel has got this type of initiatives. So these are some of the pictures that we are looking at. There will be a school program, there will be field visit activities, there will be social events and all that under Youth for the Future. Okay, last but not least, that's a quick summary. Our focus is not just us, but our nearby surrounding. We are also with our initiative to inspire others to do the same. Otherwise, Langkawi will not stay green for long, unfortunately. If you look at the green areas in Langkawi, which I have the privilege to look at when Mr. Ershad presented to our department head, it is really, really sad. You know, we will lose our competitive edge. People will become greedy. Langkawi will lose something which we all consider as treasure. So this is something which we want to propagate so that others perhaps not follow 100%, maybe 10%, 15% of what we do. At least we are all paddling at the same direction. And I must say, everyone can make a difference. A little difference adds up. If everybody turn their back on sustainable and green initiative, who will? Yeah. So let's start little and grow. So that's what I have to present today, and I'll be glad to take any questions if I could. And thank you very much for your time. I hope that what I have just shared would at least inspire you a little bit, and probably I don't know, perhaps something good can come out of it. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you very much, Encik Johan. That is very informative. Yes, I guess the data is always a pioneer for many things. You're the pioneer for human capital investment, and now they are the pioneer for environmental sustainability. Okay, and let's listen. Before we ask Encik Johan many questions, okay, let's listen to Dr. Asmahani.
Assalamualaikum and good afternoon.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay, allow me to share the slides. Okay, can see it? Okay, so I will start. Congratulations, Datai, Encik Johan. This is my first time listen to a presentation that really practice what I have read, what I found in journal, in articles. Before this, I thought a green thing is like a dream, but data made it. Okay, so it means that this is not just a dream. We really can do it. Okay, so we have listened to Encik Alif juga, and also from Mr. Johan, whereby Mr. Johan share with us a lot of information on how data practice green event. Green in from the context of hotel perspective. Okay, so as a person that coming from event management, so I would like to share a little bit knowledge that I have in related to the event management, which is my field. Okay, I know that, okay, here we have almost 100, then I know that most of us are coming from different background, and some of the attendees today are my students, and some of them are not from event management. So I think it's good if I can share the direct quotation that I just simply take from took from the textbook. Okay, just to show the definition of events. Okay, so basically, if we can see from the slide, there are actually many. We can explain event in many statements, in many form, but actually, if I want to conclude from my own words, event is actually where we are gathering many people in one time at a specific place for a specific reason. Okay, so when I explain, when I use the statement, perhaps we have no idea what is event all about. Okay, so let me just show you this picture. Okay, this is the picture of events. Okay, where again, I just simply take it from Google. Nowadays, we can just simply Google whatever we want to see. We can just simply take it. Okay, so just to share, just to give a clear picture or a clear idea about what is event all about. Okay, as you can see in the slide, these are the picture of event. Okay, so when I say event, I hope you guys can imagine how it looks like, right? Whereby we gather many people, okay, in one time for a specific place. Okay, so these 4 different pictures definitely shows that we are gathered for different purpose. Okay, so for those who are not familiar with the event, so let me just share the type of event that we have. Okay, we have art and entertainment, business trade, we have sports event, we have educational event, recreational event, political event, private event, as well as cultural celebration. Okay, so basically these are the type of event that we normally hosted in Malaysia and in other part of the world as well. Okay, so when it comes to the environmental sustainability, okay, just now Mr. Johan has covered sustainability in hospitality industry. Okay, so perhaps next time we can have another session to have an expert or to have the practitioner that can share their knowledge on sustainability in tourism. Okay, but from my part, as I am from event management person, so I would like to share the sustainability in event management. Okay, so basically when I do the reading, when I do the searching, so most of the time people will use the term green event to portray or to show or to explain the type of event that is environmental friendly. Okay, so just to give more ideas about what is green events, so let me just share about the fast facts about green events. So as for the core concept, green event is actually nature-based event, okay? Minimize the adverse effect of event activities. So as we can see in the previous picture that I've shown, we have, whenever we host an event, we definitely combine the few elements in one event, okay? So of course, every single people that attend our event, they definitely use at least one mineral water. They will use they will take flyers, they will take what we call the pamphlet. Okay, so at the end of the day, where did they put all those things? Okay, and then as for the objective, okay, it's clear that we practice green event because we want to minimize the adverse effect to the environment, thereby serving to reduce environmental pollution. Okay, so based on my reading, there are actually 6 principle that we can use, which is, I believe that it is almost similar what Datai have done. Okay. Okay. Before I go further, allow me to share this figure. Okay, this figure is actually originated from one of the retired professor. Okay, when me and my team met him, okay, to get kind of approval about what about the proposal to what we call to propose this green thing. So he draw me this figure. Okay, so based on him, the green event could be done whereby we have, this is actually the flow. Okay, where at the first stage we have the green idea. Okay, so we in the university, we are actually those that are coming with many ideas. Okay, especially when we talk about green events. So as I shown earlier, we have 6 principles. So I can consider it as a green idea. Okay, so now we are at the stage of doing camping. Okay, to tell people, to give some, to show them some way that we still can conserve the environment through event management. Okay, and then at the third stage, we need to do this kind of process. We need to go through this awareness whereby we have to really go to the field. Okay, we have to really go and meet the industry, go and meet the practitioner to share with them about the green knowledge. Okay, and then I hope after we gone through this awareness stage, we really hope that they can practice this. And yes, as it is proven by Mr. Johan that I have practiced this, but as far as I know, since 2012, I've been searching, I've been reading materials related to green event. I've never came across any green event that being hosted in Malaysia. Okay, yes, of course, if I visit MySEP website, MySEP stand for Malaysian Convention Exhibition Bureau, they have mentioned about green event. Okay, they say let's go green, but actually if we go through their practice, their perception is they only go green by whenever they plant the plant, they're planting the plant, that is considered green event for them. okay, where they do the recycle, where they do the reuse, the 3R things, they consider themselves as a green practitioner. Okay, but actually we can go beyond that. Okay, and then I hope that after a certain period of time, we can have this green event as a new norms. Okay, so the reason I put this the words of green idea and green and camping as in the red form, because I just want to show that, okay, this is our current stage. This is where we are now. I mean, in the perspective of event management. Okay. Okay, next we have negative environmental impact of events. So basically, when I talk to people, they kind of they can't believe that. They say, "Are you sure event can harm the environment? Okay, are you sure the event can produce a negative impact to the environment?" But yes, as we can see here, when we said negative environmental impact, so definitely we will come across with the pollution. Okay, and then we have air pollution, as we can see here. Okay, and then we have sound pollution. Whenever we have concert, okay, so it will be categorized as sound pollution. And then fireworks, and then when we have events, this is definitely at the event field, at the event venue. When the event ends, we just simply throw the rubbish, the plastic, the bottle. Okay, this is how it looks like. Okay, and then we also have event also be accused as excessive use of energy, and I would say it is true. Okay, and then last but not least, excessive use of water. Okay, as you can see here in Malaysia also, we have Malaysia largest water festival where we use a lot of water. So I would say this is kind of excessive use of water. If Selangor people see this picture, perhaps they will kind of kecil hati kan, because they all survive every day tak ada air kan. Okay. Okay. Then as someone that coming from academic background, okay, definitely I have to support my green journey, my green idea with the word from our scholar. Okay, Gates 2016 said more attention should be given to achieving positive environmental outcomes, including the role of event tourism in nature conservation through education and interpretation. Okay, so in this from this sentence, I purposely put the words in the red form because I want to show that we are here we try our best to educate our student. As I think this kind of this kind of talk is actually in line with what has been mentioned by Mr. Johan, where we try to educate our youth to really sensitive. Okay, whenever they plan an event, so they should also consider this green practice in their proposal. Okay. If we go through or if we check in UUM, okay, we have at least 100 events per month hosted by different student association. Okay, yes, lucky now we are in the stage we need to dealing with this COVID, so we cannot have physical event. But what if we have physical events and 1 month we have 100 events, we have 100 physical events? So can you imagine how many plastic going into landfill, how many water, how many energy that we have waste? Okay. Okay, then we have, okay, these are the things that I would like to propose whenever we want to organize the event. Definitely this idea is not 100% coming from our research team, but definitely these are the principle that has been practiced by the event producer or event organizer worldwide. Okay, so after I went through all of the green event guideline by the international host, so what we are proposed or what we are suggesting is actually tally what they have. Okay, so as we can see, we have 6. Okay, based on the reading. Okay, if event organizer practice 2, out of these 6 principle, we can declare our event as a green event. Okay. Okay. So of course, whenever we want to host an event, we need to have a proposal. Okay. So in the proposal, we need to have the checklist. Okay. So these are the checklists. Let's say if we want to practice a green event, okay, in terms of the transportation management, these are the things that we can do. Okay. So as the event organizer, we should have this checklist. Okay, and then principle 2, we have management of waste. Okay, I won't go through this checklist one by one. Okay, later on, if any of you interested to know more about this checklist, you can just come to our school. Okay. Okay, we have water management, energy, communication, purchase management. Okay, that's it. Okay, this checklist actually, because event is the sector that is dynamic. Okay, different event require different approach. Okay, so let's say if we are hosting a sports event, definitely we need to have a different green event guidelines as compared to when we want to host a wedding. Okay, let's say if you want to host a culture festival, so we need to have a different checklist. So that's why I always remind my students to really tackle event specifically according to the type, according to the size of the event. Okay, so this is based on the research. Okay, barriers of going green. If we refer to the journal, there are actually a lot more barriers, but these 4, I would say these four are the famous barrier. Okay, that stop our local event organizer from practice green. Okay, first one, lack of green event knowledge. Okay, when I spoke to one of the event organizer, when I asked him, actually he practiced 1 or 2 of the principle, but he did not declare his event as a green event because he never know this is actually a green event, this is actually a green practice. Okay, so there is it becomes starting point for me where I think I should find someone that really can work with me, can work with my team to make this make this work. Okay. And then some of the organizer also, they have negative perception towards green practice. Yeah, I can't really blame them because when I saw the picture shown by Mr. Johan, definitely to transform the building to environmental friendly building, of course, it require at the first stage, it require a lot of investment. Okay, but after a certain period of time, it will reduce the cost. Okay, I can see that Mr. Johan kind of angguk, so perhaps he's agree with me. Okay, and then the third one is resistant to change. Okay, I spoke to one of the officer from one of the state. Okay, whenever, okay, let's say when they host an event at the state level, so definitely they will have VIP or politician. Okay, so I spoke to him. Okay, in order to consider our event as a green event, we have to choose the outdoor as a event venue. And then he replied to me, oh, cannot because we have VIP, nanti VIP berpeluh. Right, so that kind of things. Okay, it is the attitude. Okay, refuse to modify the existing event planning. There's one event actually in one state juga. I would mention which state. They almost we went there to have a meeting. Okay, I went there to propose this green event planning, but at the end of the day, they kind of senyap. There's no further action. Okay, because and then at the end of the after certain period of time, then I know, oh, because they have complete everything. They have their own plan. So when I go there and I suggest my green thing, so they think like, oh, I have so if they agree to follow my green checklist, so they have to do major amendment on their existing green event planning, which is that is the thing that they don't want. Okay, so basically these are the 4 points or the 4 barrier that I think that this is the major reason that stop our local event organizer from practice green. Okay, as I said earlier, in university we try our best to educate our students, okay, to conserve, to together conserve the environment, especially when we have event management program. So I really hope, we really hope that our students, whenever they join the industry, green event will be their first word to their future employer. Okay, so just to let everyone know this, we under Event Management Research Unit, we are actually having this training. Okay, so I humbly invite any of our attendees today to come to us and have a discussion, and we can have a proper green event guideline for a specific event that we're gonna host. Okay. And then, of course, when you attend a training, so definitely you will get a certificate. Okay, so I would say this is the first event in Malaysia that have this green event certificate. Okay, from our school. Okay, of course they have to go through a certain process. As you can see, they have to go through this what we call taklimat. Okay, just to let the attendees understand what is actually green event, because we also need to get cooperation from the attendee. Each of our attendees has to have a clear picture on what is actually green events. So then only we can together make green things a reality. Okay. Okay, that's it for me. That's it from me. Thank you. Okay, I pass to Dr. Razila. Over to you, Dr. Razila.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Asmahani. So now we have listened to all three panels. So let's proceed with our question and answer session. Encik Alif or Encik Johan, do you have any question to ask Dr. Asmahani, or Dr. Asmahani and Encik Johan, do you have any questions to ask Encik Alif? Or Encik Muhammad Alif, do you have any questions to ask Dr. Asmahani and Encik Johan?
I have question actually. Can
Oh,
you hear me?
Oh yes, clearly.
Yeah. Is Encik Muhammad Alif there?
Oh yes, I can see his face
Okay, all right. I couldn't.
with his
Maybe it's just the phone.
ocean as a background.
Yes, yes, I'm here.
I tak nampak. Minta maaf. I pakai apa nama ni, handphone. Anyway,
Okay,
so
okay.
Encik Alif, yeah, I think now your picture is coming. Okay, anyway, I have a question and also
Tak dengar.
dengar ah?
Dia putih-putih.
Okay.
Saya ada.
Okay.
Tak jelas, tak jelas.
Okay. Right. Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I would humbly invite Encik Alif, Encik Asmahani, and also our moderator to come to Datai. You know, sometimes what I have presented does not really paint a real picture of what we did. And of course, what we did was we don't achieve it overnight. It takes a lot of effort, time. It's very painful, very, very painful, because everybody has got to embrace this. But sadly, sometimes I see, I hope there's a lot of enforcement that is going on enforcing this green initiative, because when we do our bits, it's just a small area that is having this positive impact on environment, but 90% are being destroyed day after day. I must say, yeah, it's very sad to see that our natural beauty is not being appreciated. I suppose it's not the government officers' duty, but more political power needed to ensure that we go to this direction. Otherwise, you know, it's just a talk. It's just very rhetoric to a certain extent. I would like to say this. You know, a lot of five-star hotel, they do all the bits, yeah. They contribute towards the checklist as per Jabatan Alam Sekitar. And Jabatan Alam Sekitar come and check the big boys, but not the small, small operator which I feel they get away with it. We get the fine, to be honest with you. I'm voicing out, I'm venting out my frustration, yeah. We get the fine, we get to go through all the small checklists, but the small players, they get away with it. But I have a solution to it. My solution is not to fine them. Jangan ambil langkah untuk punish them. Ambil langkah untuk mendidik mereka. Ambil langkah untuk memegang, coach them, guide them. Ambil langkah untuk help them in complying with JS checklist. I don't think JS checklist is that difficult, to be honest. Our checklist lagi banyak tak masuk akal lah. Doesn't make sense. Yeah. That's why I say you need to cover and see what we do. Yeah. But
Alright.
JS checks tak banyak. But a lot of small hotels, chalets, they don't comply, sadly. And here we are doing good things, and you can see a lot of people backpedaling. So it's very frustrating to see that, to be honest. I don't blame on you guys, but we must have a political will to change that. Therefore, I believe so much in educating the young people so that they have that awareness. When they became political leaders, they make the necessary changes, policy changes, so that we at enforcement unit can enforce. So I don't know how, but whether it's a question or a statement, I leave it to you. But first I would like to invite you to go and come and see what data has got to offer, and as far as stability concept is concerned. But at the same time, look at those small players, small companies. Don't punish them. Help them. I hope government has got fund. Maybe you can bring it up to your boss can bring it up to the menteri. Sekarang pun menteri pun pening kepala sebab all the rubbish from all over the world comes to Malaysia. I heard. I don't know how far it's true, but we are dumping ground. Here we are trying, we are trying to put zero in landfill. People are bringing in from outside Malaysia. How sad it is. I hope that's not true. Yeah, so this is my statement and not a question, actually, maybe a plea to all that is listening. Itulah. Thank you.
Ya, Encik Alif. Apa yang kita tengok dekat berita tu, adakah benar? Malaysia jadi landfill. Saya pun ingat saya tunjuk gambar tu dekat student saya dekat kelas. Saya kata, oh, this is terrible. And then my student said, oh, that is Malaysia, doctor. I was like, what? This is Malaysia? Yes, that's happening in Malaysia, my students told me. So, macam mana ya, Encik Alif?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Johan, for the statement, or I must say it will be some question to some person. Okay, and Dr. Razila, okay. Bagi I speak in Malay lah.
Boleh, silakan.
Comfortable in Malay, okay. What we say, Malaysia as a landfill for other country. Okay, that particular pengurusan tersebut, okay, adalah di peringkat kementerian. Okay, seperti mana kita tahu, Jabatan Alam Sekitar di bawah Kementerian Alam Sekitar dan Air. Okay, dan di bawah Kementerian Alam Sekitar dan Air ni pun dia ada banyak agensi-agensi dan jabatan-jabatan yang di bawahnya. Okay, jadi untuk Jabatan Alam Sekitar, okay, kita hanya menjalankan ataupun menguatkuasakan apa undang-undang yang tertakluk di dalam Akta Kualiti Alam Sekeliling 1974. Okey, saya boleh tunjuklah dia punya buku akta kat sini. Akta Kualiti Alam Sekeliling 1974. Okey, ini adalah boleh katakan panduan lah, ataupun sebagai punca kuasa lah bagi setiap pegawai di Jabatan Alam Sekitar. Okey, sekiranya sebarang macam urusan ataupun kes yang melibatkan tidak termasuk di dalam Akta Kualiti Alam Sekeliling ataupun di peringkat yang tinggi, sama seperti Cik Johan kata tadi, melibatkan political involvement ataupun peringkat kementerian lah, peringkat yang tinggi, peringkat kementerian. Okey, kami sebagai pegawai bagi pegawai kerajaan ataupun Jabatan Alam Sekitar khususnya hanya mampu memberi penyataan berdasarkan apa yang terkandung di dalam Akta Kualiti Alam Sekeliling. Okey, yang tu je. Betul. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Encik Muhammad Alif. Sebenarnya Encik Johan, you kept mentioning about youth. And for your information, we have many youth with us today. Okay, only that they're keeping quiet. I wonder why. So besides increasing awareness, well, a part of increasing awareness is educating them. Like Encik Johan said, that they bring school students to the data and show them things. So how about the fishermen? Like in Australia, ada rule yang sekiranya mereka menangkap ikan kecil, mereka kena buang balik ke dalam laut. Jadi adakah di Malaysia kita mempunyai rules yang macam tu?
I can respond a little bit because I was engaging with the previous DG KP dulu. What we did was under Perikanan, we have a program where we engage the local community. So what we did was we explained to them that I had already put in about 5 FAD, fish aggregate device. And it takes time for the fish to thrive at our Datai Bay, yeah. So what we did was we go to the community, fishermen Kubang Badak. Our nearest community was at Kubang Badak. Our marine biologists had gone in together with Encik Azhar of Jabatan Perikanan Langkawi. We have gone there and engaged under EAFM program. Under fishery, they have a special program that engage with community. And we explained to them that when the time is right and the size is ready, you can go and fish. For a time being, if you fish elsewhere, throw back all those anak-anak ikan yang kita dapat tu back to the sea so that they can grow to that size where you get better pricing for that. For the time being, be patient, sabar, and we'll buy the fish back from you. And of course, you're looking at the concept of local, helping local community, using local product. And these are what our decent guests from UK, from Scandinavian countries love to see. They don't want to see halibut. They don't want to see ikan kod yang mahal-mahal. They nak tengok ikan kerapu kita, our garupa. They want to see kita punya mullet. They want to see our snapper, how fresh it is, how tasty it is when it is prepared the Malaysian traditional way. So this is what I want to see actually. So this is what we are doing to answer a little bit of what Dr. Razila had mentioned. This is a little bit that we do under Fish for the Future. You see, we have 4 pillars tadi kan. This is only Fish for the Future. So many initiatives. We are now even looking at try to beach to be turtle friendly beach. The lights at the beach, it disturbs the turtle when they want to come and nest. So these are the projects that we are embarking. Many more projects. As we finish one, there will be another. Before we finish one, the GM is thinking of another already. So it's overwhelming. Banyak sangat. One pillar itself pun orang Kedah kata tak larat nak campur lah. Kan? So a little bit from my side lah.
Ya, adakah kita punya sebarang soalan daripada audience? Okey, tiada soalan di sana. Encik Muhammad Alif, ada soalan kepada Encik Johan?
Saya mempunyai soalan kepada Dr. Asmahani. Okey. Saya tengok tadi ada di pembentangan Dr. Asmahani ada satu checklist lah untuk event ataupun dan juga untuk green event. Okey, soalan saya, jika event itu tidak memenuhi checklist yang telah disediakan ataupun dibekalkan, adakah event itu boleh berlangsung ataupun mungkin tidak dapat macam pengesahan untuk dilangsungkan?
Dia maksudnya Cik Alif, macam tadi saya kata event kan dia macam dynamic. Setiap event dia memerlukan approach yang berbeza kan. Okey, jadi checklist tadi hanyalah sebagai umum sajalah. Okey, jadi contohnya masa kalau kata Encik Alif nak buat event apa ya biasa yang Jabatan Alas kita ada buat?
Kalau Jabatan Sekitar ni kebanyakannya event gotong royong je lah.
Okey, contohnya gotong royong memang one of green effort jugalah kan. Okey,
Yes.
contohnya gotong royong lah kan. Gotong royong dengan contohnya macam hari terbuka kan. Okey.
Okey.
Jadi dua-dua tu kita panggil non-profit event lah kan. Okey, jadi untuk hari terbuka dia memerlukan checklist yang berbeza berbanding dengan gotong royong. Jadi untuk nak dapatkan sertifikat tu, okey, stage yang pertama, proses yang pertama ialah katalah masa Jabatan Alas kita nak buat gotong royong dan nak jadikan gotong royong tu sebagai green, nak transform daripada traditional way of managing event kepada green event, nak tukar kepada status green event, kita boleh duduk sama-sama dan kita boleh tengok dalam daripada 6 prinsipal tu, prinsipal yang mana yang Jabatan Alas kita paling boleh achieve. Okey, 2 daripada 6 tu kalau kita implement itu dah boleh consider event kita sebagai green event. Contohnya macam saya pernah pergi satu meeting dekat satu negeri ni. Saya propose untuk, dia ada conference. Jadi saya propose untuk sediakan shuttle bus kepada attendee. Dan dia kata dia tak buat sebab dalam checklist ada untuk untuk sediakan shuttle bus. Tapi dia kata dia tak ada bajet so tak boleh sediakan shuttle bus. So kita boleh keluarkan checklist tu. Kita boleh tengok contohnya untuk transportation, apa yang Jabatan Alas kita boleh buat. So bila at the end of the day kita akan come up dengan spesifik guideline khas untuk gotong royong. Kalau kata untuk conference, spesifik guideline khas untuk conference. Dia kalau macam event dia tak boleh sekalikan. Event A dengan event B dengan event C dia maksudnya tak boleh macam tu lah. So bila dah ada checklist, okay, so team daripada school kita akan pergi visit sewaktu event day. So kita akan tengok, okay, let's say ini checklist yang dijanjikan oleh Jabatan Alas kita. Okay, so hari event kita akan pergi tengok, ikut tak apa yang dibuat yang ada dekat checklist tu. So kalau ikut, okay, so sewaktu penutup program tu, kita bolehlah bagi sijen. Just untuk membuktikan bahawa bila dapat CJ of course kita suka kan. So boleh tunjuk satu inisiatif lah, maksudnya kita boleh visualize, tangibilize kita punya effort tu. Dan sebelum buat, sebelum praktis tu kita kena hantar staff Jabatan Alas kita untuk training dulu untuk bagi clear idea green event tu macam mana kan, sebab dia akan jadi kita panggil frontliner kepada attendee tu. So dia akan guide attendee. Okay, untuk nak make sure event ni green, okay, ini yang dia kena buat. Okay tak?
Okey, jelas.
Nanti panggil school saya ya, kita boleh bagi training.
Okey, itu kita boleh berbincang secara lebih lanjut kemudian lah.
Sure, pasti.
Okey, terima kasih Doktor.
Okay. Cik Johan, boleh tak saya tanya?
Boleh, can, please.
Datai mesti ada banyak event kan? Can you please share?
Yeah, our event is actually very small event. Reason
Okay.
being is data is a luxury setup. Paling banyak kita ada pun 25 participants saja, because our we don't have a big ballroom, because that's not our business, because our business is only for CEO meeting macam tu je.
Okay. So untuk CEO meeting practice ke yang green elements tu?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we very much practice. To start with, we never have any plastic.
Okay.
We use a lot of like I say, local materials. So that's in particular that we don't encourage any practices that is harmful to nature. In fact, we encourage people to go and visit our facilities, go for morning walk, see what the flora and fauna that we have, go for morning walk, see the nocturnal animals that we have, recently we have EU, all the ambassador of EU visited us for a meeting, baru-baru ni ya. So what we had for them is while they're having a meeting, the wives go and plant trees. You see? So these are the things that we do. And we don't just plant any trees. We plant native trees. So, you know, we are very selective and very choosy, very detailed about what we want to do. So it encourages people to not know data, but to also look into some of the initiatives that we do, and they can implement at home. So that's our approach.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Johan.
I have a question also for UUM actually. I visited UM, beautiful campus. They have a bamboo punya garden and all that, you know, I visited them. And I wonder whether you make it compulsory for all students to pass a sustainable subject before they've been graduated. Like what we did at the time, every employee will have to know our policy, our green policy. Our green policy is at the notice board. Ya. Kita ada safety and health policy, OSHA policy sebagainya. Dan kita juga ada green policy dalam handbook kita. And every employee must go through the employee handbook and be trained on that. So I'm not sure whether the policy of UUM, I would suggest strongly to create, you know, awareness and future generation that can have that political willpower to embrace sustainability initiative by having it compulsory, you know, having not just as a subject, but as a practice perhaps, as an initiative that comes into their campus, their quarters and things like that. So maybe it's a question for Dr. Asman.
Okay, dekat UM kita ada Live Green. Apa dia punya program tu, kita maksudnya green memang dah jadi satu agenda besar dalam UM. Okay, cumanya untuk khas untuk student event, kita memang betul-betul menerapkan, maksudnya we really educate them. At the first time they met their employer, please mention about green event. So like I shown just now yang green big thinking apa tu kan? Okay, the process tu, we are actually at the second stage. We still doing camping for people to really accept our proposal, whereby before they host any kind of event, please follow all of this checklist. We are still in the process of promoting the idea.
Satu lagi Dr. Asma ni, I don't know whether you have this event for green event for wedding untuk kahwin.
Okay.
Tadi bawa pergi majlis kahwin, you know, being very sensitive towards green thing. I see, I sedih bukan, tapi you know, mungkin kita boleh adakan satu checklist untuk kahwin. Kahwin tu dah maybe kita ada 2-3 lah, dekat hotel, dekat kampung kan. Dulu saya ingat mak saya, my mom goes to the market, she doesn't use plastic. She use newspaper, she use basket, you know. And we as a child also, we drink water. We go to see mama, we go and see, you know, the stall and all that. We drink. Now everybody has got their own, I don't know, you know, plastic things and things that, I don't know, maybe we should, like what I say, rethink. You know, rethink about what we use daily. Now, alhamdulillah, ada some awareness. People don't use what they call it, straw. So this is good start, but it's just a very small beginning, and it will take time. We should actually look at what the Scandinavian country has got to offer. They are very strong in sustainability concept and practices, which I think a lot for us to learn.
Saya rasa untuk respon kepada soalan Encik Johan, saya rasa Encik Alif kena bantu kita. Sebab kita ada idea, tapi dari segi enforcement tu kita tak ada. Maksudnya kalau lah kata, let's say kalau macam SOP untuk COVID kita ada kan, kat mana-mana pergi semua kita ikut. So mungkinlah Jabatan Alas kita boleh come out dengan kerjasama dengan school saya STEM untuk buat event, kena ada benda ni. Itu adakah bawah bidang kuasa Jabatan Alas kita? Maksudnya untuk buat wedding ataupun buat apa-apa event mesti kena ikut. Ini adalah checklist yang patut kena ikut. Boleh ke? Adakah itu bawah bidang kuasa Jabatan STHEM?
Okey, terima kasih Doktor. Okey, bagi kalau untuk event ni rasanya kalau secara generalnya bukan bawah bidang kuasa jabatan kita. Tapi jika melibatkan kalau melibatkan macam teknologi green, teknologi hijau ataupun kelestarian lah. Okey, kita boleh keluarkan, kita boleh keluarkan satu checklist ataupun garis panduan lah untuk event untuk mungkin macam doktor kata tadi, macam ada checklist tu, kita boleh sama-sama, kita boleh berganding bahu untuk keluarkan satu checklist yang untuk memastikan tu lah, memastikan 6 perkara tadi tercapai. Ya, waste management, water management semua tu kan. Okey, itulah.
Ya, betul.
Boleh.
Betul tu, kita boleh bekerjasama, kita boleh berganding bahu. Maka sebab itulah saya kumpulkan hari ni orang akademik dan orang kementerian dan juga orang industri. Okay, to close the gap lah dan supaya kita ada juga youth, tapi youth senyap je. Okay.
Mungkin boleh satu wakil untuk bersuara.
Ya, wakil. Oh, ni kalau bagi.
Dekat Facebook ada ke Doktor? Sebab ada yang join Facebook live juga kan?
Ada. Dekat Facebook pun ada tapi saya tak monitor pula.
Ini mungkin boleh bagi extra mark lah kalau siapa yang boleh sanggup untuk mewakilkan diri.
Ya, dia pendengar extra mark je. Okay. Okay class, do you want extra marks? If you want extra marks, please ask questions.
Kalau student tak vokal, siapa lagi kita harap untuk our next generation, you see?
Yes, for future.
You have got to learn how to voice out, say things, say it nicely, you know, you don't have to be very rough and tough about it, but say it nicely, you know, there's nothing wrong with it to voice out your whatever frustration it is. Not just frustration, maybe you should also share your ideas. Because senang kita complain, tapi kita tak bagi apa-apa solution pun. Orang nampak kita complain kuat saja.
Betul.
So, and at the same time, it develops the thinking students, you know, not just absorbing. Critical thinking is very important. Saya dulu takut doktor, saya nak tanya ke cikgu saya, dia marah kan. You know, depa tengok saya degil tu macam orang Penang panggil degil, dia degil tu macam kita pun takut kan. That's why saya tak nak repeat. Tak nak repeat kesalahan yang sama. So my training essay, if you leave this room with a lot of question mark, not as you fail, I fail. Because I fail to set the tone and environment, makes you feel comfortable to ask any question that you like.
Yes. I agree.
And you I think that before I ask you questions, it is best that you ask the panel's questions. Yeah, if in the olden days the teachers are very strict, quite scary, but nowadays we are very friendly, always smiling, you know, to encourage them to talk. So please talk. Okay, if not, I'll call your names.
Ada satu soalan doktor dekat chat box.
Okay, daripada Nur Maisarah Masri. Soalannya, Assalamualaikum, saya ingin bertanya, bagaimana untuk penduduk kampung membuang barang-barang seperti lampu Kalimantan atau boleh tanam? Ya, ini tadi ada dalam slide. Encik Alif, silakan. Encik Muhammad Alif.
Okey, sekejap saya nak cari balik slide tadi. Okey. Okey, saya akan share screen. Okey, kaitan lampu Kalimantan. Kalimantan. Okey, kita tengok balik description bagi SW110. Okey, sama ada dia tertakluk ataupun tidak di bawah jadual pertama, peraturan-peraturan kualiti alam sekeliling, buangan terjadual 2005. Okey, buangan daripada pemasangan elektrikal dan elektronik menggunakan komponen seperti accumulator, suis raksa, kaca daripada tiup sinar katak dan kaca interaktif atau kapasitor berfenator poliklorin yang lain. Okey, boleh baca selanjutnya. Okey, untuk lampu Kalimantan, okey, dia termasuk di bawah okey, yang ni saya kurang pasti. Nanti saya akan kemukakan secara bertulis kepada doktor ataupun Dr. Rozila ataupun Dr. Asmahani, sebabnya ada sedikit isu lah berkaitan lampu ni. Okey, nanti saya akan berikan penjelasan secara bertulis kepada pihak STEM lah. Okey, terima kasih.
Okay, terima kasih Encik Alif. Dan kalau di the data ya, kaca-kaca tu di crush untuk jadi dinding ya? Encik Johan?
Ya, ya doktor. Ya. Kita
Ah.
jadikan dinding, kita jadikan slab dekat lantai tu. Kita fikir juga macam mana boleh kaca tu dia boleh jadi lantai dan dinding. Tak bahaya ke kalau pijak? Kan?
Itulah.
Kan dia sebenarnya. Saya pun mula-mula saya pun agak bimbang juga kan, tapi apabila saya sendiri jalan, saya sendiri tengok lantai dia, tak ada masalah. Dia mungkin dia polishkan sikit ke apa ke. It takes a little time, but it produce something which is very noble, very green, very unique. You know, I mean, people go and see the lab, they feel wow. You know, these are all made out of something which is recycled, repurposed, giving it a second life. You know what I mean? So why not? You know, instead of we just waste it away, put it into a landfill. Why not use it? Kan? Cuma, you know, it's a little bit more learning curve. You know, you got to buy machine and things like that. So memanglah nak payah sikit lah, tapi it's worth it lah, really worth it.
Itulah bila penduduk kampung dengar kena ada mesin semua, terus tak jadilah, surrender lah. Lepas tu kalau
Okey,
boleh saya tanya soalan pada Cik Johan sekejap? Cik Johan.
Ya, teruskan.
Cik Johan boleh tak sahkan kebenaran bahawa untuk nak transform datai daripada non-green kepada green ada, betul tak memerlukan kos yang mahal? Boleh tolong sahkan tak?
Yes, I would say cost dia mahal kerana you need to buy equipment, you need to invest, especially on manpower. Can you imagine kalau I tanya dekat you, which hotel yang ada resident naturalist, which hotel ada 2 marine biologists, which hotel ada 2 naturalists, which hotel has got a building that is dedicated for nature, which hotel has got pure center, 2 area, which hotel buys crusher machine, which hotel has got a permaculture garden, has got a composting area, and now we are buying Ashra, a mini incinerator. You know, everything that goes into the incinerator, what comes out is only ash, abu. Yeah, and that machine is certified green in Singapore. You know how strict Singapore is.
Oh yes. Yes.
And that machine will cost us $500,000 ringgit. Tetapi imagine how much that we save in terms of transportation to landfill. How much that we contribute to the environment. And there is no emission of any toxic gas by using this machine. It is expensive, but then you must also remember how much you invested to build a hotel in proportion to the green thing that you want to contribute. So you got to be rational here. You know, and you get free PR mileage. I can tell you, you don't have to shout about it. When you do it sincerely, kalau you buat dengan ikhlas, your guests can sense it. They can feel it. They have emotional connection to you. There's a lot of benefits. You know, kita kadang-kadang kita buat advertisement, kita buat PR apa semua, tujuan tak murni, tak ikhlas. Orang boleh tahu. Orang boleh tahu. Kalau you buat secara ikhlas, siapa akan buat PR kepada you? Your guest. So which word is more credible? You or your guest? What
Your
are you trying
guest.
to promote, or your guests trying that have experience what they have experienced at that time? Which one is more credible? You know the answer, right? So you want to do it out of sincerity. Don't do it because you want to check list. That susah. That you tak dapat nikmat dia. Dalam Islam pun dia tak dapat nikmat keimanan, tak dapat. Dia buat kerana dia tunjuk orang dia pergi masjid.
Riak-riak.
Dia tak mau. Kita nak
Apa-apa
akhirat.
kena ikhlas.
Buat apa pun nak kena ikhlas. Buat sikit tak apa. Tapi ikhlas. Faman ya'mal misqala dzarratin khairan yarah wa ya'mal misqala dzarratin syarran yarah. Sikit itulah sebesar zaharah itulah yang akan dipertimbangkan nanti insya-Allah.
Terbaik.
Jadi ustaz lah pula.
Okey, Encik Alif tadi.
Dr. Razila, nanti kita pergi jumpa Encik Johan.
Kuliah Ramadan. Okey, Encik Alif tadi nak kata sesuatu ke?
Okey, untuk soalan berkaitan lampu Kalimantan tadi, okey, saya ada tengok jadual pertama di bawah peraturan-peraturan kualiti alam sekeliling, buangan terjadual 2005. Okey, lampu Kalimantan itu dikategorikan sebagai SW109. Okey, satu kod di bawah di atas daripada US lah, iaitu buangan yang mengandungi raksa atau sebatiannya. Okey, bagi pengurusan lampu Kalimantan ni, okey, bagi komuniti boleh hantar lampu Kalimantan yang telah pecah ataupun rosak boleh dihantar kepada PYDT, iaitu environment idaman. Bagi yang popular di Kedah lah, environment idaman. Okey, dan bagi untuk industri, jika ada terdapat lampu Kalimantan yang telah rosak dan tidak digunakan lagi, okey, hantar terus kepada PYDT, iaitu premis yang ditetapkan. Okey, maksudnya premis yang ditetapkan ni, premis yang telah diberikan lesen lah oleh JAS untuk menjalankan kerja-kerja pelubusan ni. Okey, saya harap jelas lah jawapan tu bagi saudari apa tadi? Nama dia? Nur Masyarah.
Okey, soalan terakhir. Sebab dah pukul 5.19 ini daripada Muhammad Faiz. Assalamualaikum, saya ingin bertanya, apakah inisiatif Jabatan Alam Sekitar untuk mengekalkan kelestarian alam sekitar di Malaysia buat masa sekarang dan masa akan datang? Tadi beberapa inisiatif telah ditunjukkan ya. Silakan Encik Alif, boleh disingkatkan?
Okey, baik. Terima kasih soalan Muhammad Faiz. Okey, inisiatif Jabatan Alam Sekitar macam saya cakap tadi, kebanyakannya kempen untuk kesedaran lah. Okey, macam Encik Johan pun selalu cakap, to educate, melentur buluh biarlah dari rebungnya. Okey, to educate, macam saya pun, unit saya sendiri, unit pengawasan dan kesedaran alam sekitar, kami giatlah menjalankan kempen-kempen dan juga promosi untuk meningkatkan kesedaran terhadap alam sekitar. Okey, bagi kelestarian ni, dari segi alam sekitar, okey, kita ada banyak teknologi yang telah dikembangkan, yang telah di-develop oleh pelbagai agensi. Okey, contohnya saya ambil bagi Nahrim, mereka ada bagi satu teknologi iaitu rainwater harvesting. Okey, saya bagi idea kat sini, mungkin datai suatu hari nanti boleh amalkan juga. Kalau dah amalkan lagi bagus. Dia mengguna semula air hujan untuk melakukan aktiviti-aktiviti yang bukan berasaskan minuman. Okey, contohnya macam itulah. Okey, dan untuk inisiatif Jabatan Alam Sekitar di Malaysia, okey, kita alam sekitar di Malaysia sangat-sangat mementingkan pencemaran dan potensi-potensi yang akan menyebabkan pencemaran kepada alam sekitar. Okey, kita ada banyak pengawasan. Okey, jadi tugas Jabatan Alam Sekitar macam saya kata tadi, sangat mementingkan, mengelakkan alam sekitar daripada tercemar lah. Okey, itu kita punya main function, main tugas lah. Okey, baik. Terima kasih.
Okey. Okey, ada soalan. Yeah, this can be rewatched back in Facebook. Okay. So ada yang kata dia akan watch nanti. So sekian saja untuk hari ini. Tapi sebelum itu saya nak mengucapkan terima kasih banyak-banyak kepada Encik Alif, Encik Muhammad Alif dan kepada Encik Johan. Ini sebenarnya hari cuti Encik Johan
Oh, ya.
Terima kasih banyak-banyak meluangkan masa di hari cuti bersama kami.
Thank
Thank
you, Mr. Johan.
Juga Dr. Asmahani dan semua yang hadir hari ini. Dan kita akhiri dengan kata everybody have their part. Okay,
Yes.
everybody have their role. If everybody tags along, everybody contributes to the environment, then insyaAllah we can sustain the environment. If not, segala effort yang telah dilakukan oleh Encik Johan tadi akan menjadi sia-sia. Okay, they invest a lot. So, sekian saja untuk hari ini. Terima kasih.
Doktor.